to have all day. Tries to escape, circles back, still alive. Loses the football, throw comes out. It's scooped up by the Ducks. And Tony Washington streaking to the end zone.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Week 0 podcast, coming to you live from the basement in Smyrna Park, Maryland. I am your host, Connor. Texas is back, folks. Doherty, where is that? Oh.
Texas is back, folks.
Not this time. You're wrong.
And to my right is Ryan. Vols take L's. Fravel. They're up, 8-2, you said, or 9-2 maybe?
Yep, Notre Dame is up.
Did they get the runner scoring position?
No, still 8-2, bottom of the fifth.
Y'all suck. Couldn't get that run in, that extra insurance run. So, Lucas is not here. He had better things to do. I don't know, seeing, what was it, a show?
He will be here later.
Was it like a comedy show?
He's driving right now, so
yes. Whatever. He can't do the show while driving. Come on, man. Come on. Plenty of people do stuff at the same time as they're driving. I've seen one of the scariest things I've ever seen. What was that? One of the scariest things I've ever done was I was driving with a friend to work. We were doing door-to-door sales together, and his name was also Connor, and we're driving. I'm sitting in the passenger seat, and he's driving, and all of a sudden he grabs his food, because I thought we were gonna stop and eat lunch before we started doing our stuff, and he grabs a spoon and like his Tupperware food and just starts eating it while driving, like literally using like the back of his elbow to drive as he's scooping it up, and I'm like terrified the entire time that he's gonna drive. He's like, don't worry, I do this all the time. I've only been in 1 or 2 crashes. I'm like, oh god, so don't want to get in trouble there. Don't want to get hurt there. So we are this week. I know the break was a little bit longer from week to week. For those of you who do know, we're starting on Fridays now, at least during the off season. We'll probably go back to Tuesdays / Wednesdays once the regular season starts for college football. This is going to be our Big 12 conference predictions. Next will be Pac-12?
Yep.
Pac-12, Big 10, Pac-12, Big 10, SEC.
Yep.
That's going to be the order. Okay.
And then after we get done with the SEC, we'll be doing our group of 5 show.
Why didn't we just do that first? I don't understand why we just didn't do that first.
I didn't think about that. You want to go? You want to go?
Shows how well prepared we are right there. We didn't even think to do that at all. Okay, so
you want to go ahead and bring up our sponsor really quick?
Oh yeah, so W Energy. You still haven't made the video, obviously, or Lucas.
I know, haven't got to it.
We just need to. We really should just clip that entire exchange we had, that entire read we had
with
last
Lucas.
Week. With Lucas.
That is the best ad read of all time.
So W Energy.
He puts it in his alcohol too.
Yeah, he puts it in his. That's all we should just say. He puts in his alcohol too. So W Energy is just an energy drink that sponsors us, similar to G Fuel, but a lot better because it just tastes better. If you want to get 10% off any of your order, put in. Oh god, I got a cord twister on my leg. Go to, I think it's w.gg and use the code WEEK0. Week is in all caps to get 10% off any purchase. I think it was off. Is it your first order or is it any order?
I think it's your first order.
Just the first? Got it. Cool.
So yeah, go ahead and use that code down below, and go get you some W Energy, and go mix it with your alcohol.
And go win some dubs, like the Warriors might do today. I have no idea. as long as Draymond isn't podcasting during the middle of the game, they'll be fine, I guess.
As long as Draymond doesn't score just 2 points.
Did you see how people are getting on him for the fact he does podcasts and stuff? Which honestly is hilarious to me because there are plenty of professional athletes that also podcast and stuff, and he's just getting
a lot of them though
there.
don't currently play or do it during the off season.
Yeah, but there are some people who do it do it during the season and stuff, and I think he just does it as a way to just talk about what he saw and stuff, like give people his thoughts on the game and stuff, which I have no problem with. If he had a mic on and he's just like, hold on guys, coach, call timeout. I gotta say thanks to our sponsor for this podcast, then I'd have a problem with it.
Yeah.
So okay, so we're gonna do Big 12 conference predictions. So the conference winner was it Baylor? Was it Oklahoma State? I think it was Oklahoma State, right?
Well, Baylor won the conference championship game. Oklahoma State won the regular season title.
But Oklahoma State had if they had beaten Baylor, they probably would have been in the playoff. Right? Yeah. They were literally half a yard short. I forgot about that. So Baylor won it. Here, actually, share my screen. Share screen. Yes. There we go. So, can you see that?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so we got, actually, let me, there we go. Let's just make it bigger. Oh, God. So, yeah, we got Baylor, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Iowa State, Kansas State, West Virginia, Texas, TCU, Texas Tech, and Kansas. And then, of course, the one win for Kansas was, of course, at Texas. Absolutely hilarious. So I'm guessing we're going to say, how do you actually think it's going to go? Because I feel like there's enough mystery around Oklahoma bringing in Brett Venables, and who's their starting quarterback now for Oklahoma? Because both Rattler
from UCF, Dylan Gabriel. That's it.
Dylan Gabriel, right? Well, was he the one that was majorly injured, or was that the guy before him at UCF?
Yeah, he got
the guy before him, right?
He got majorly injured last year, the first game against Boise State.
Okay, so there's enough of a mystery around Oklahoma with bringing in Venables and stuff. Meanwhile, Oklahoma State, I believe, lost their defensive coordinator, if I remember correctly, to, was it Ohio State? They lost,
yeah.
or Ohio State. Do you see Baylor repeating as conference champs right now, just because of the uncertainty between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State right now?
So, this might shock a few people, but I think Kansas State wins the Big 12 this year, and this is why. They have the best running back in the Big 12 right now. Deuce Vaughn, who was a 1,400-yard back last year with 18 touchdowns, along with Skylar Thompson, who's also coming back, who's one of the best quarterback, and probably outside of Dylan Gabriel is the best quarterback in the Big 12. We could say Quinn Ewers, but no, we haven't seen him play a single game yet.
I could see them being 3-0 heading into the game at Oklahoma, and that's their first. And at least they get Oklahoma out of the way early, because Oklahoma might still be trying to figure it out at that point, and they might be able to get past them if Oklahoma hasn't put it together by then. Week 4.
I mean, I just think they're the most complete team. They're the team that's returning almost everybody. The two teams that are returning basically their entire team is Baylor and Kansas State.
So do you think it'll be Baylor and K-State?
I think I got Kansas State and Baylor being the top two teams. Okay. I'm not too certain about Oklahoma. Oklahoma State, I don't know, because if they have the same defense, sure. But they lost
their D coordinator.
And they lost their linebacker, their starting linebacker, who was basically the best player on that defense as well.
Uh-huh.
And if we can remember what it was like for Oklahoma State before last year, they had one of the worst defenses in college football, along with Oklahoma.
They do
So-
still have Spencer Sanders though, so
who is kind of
he was hit and
on
miss.
and off.
Yeah, he was hit and miss.
But I mean, I think Oklahoma State's kind of a dark horse for me. Texas is as well. But I think just looking at preseason and seeing like who's returning the most players, and who's kind of kept their team intact, Baylor and Kansas State are at the top of that list. And I don't think people are giving Kansas State a lot of credit for whatever reason.
I mean, I think Texas Tech, they're unfortunately they're not really a threat. I don't think either.
Tyler Shuck isn't.
No, he's not. Iowa State, now that they don't have Brock Purdy or Brees Hall, could see a major drop off, which might hurt. It would be ironic if Matt Campbell loses a lot of intrigue as a potential candidate for one of the top programs if anything opens up at a more high profile school, because he didn't jump ship when he could have. Because maybe Iowa State goes 4-8, everyone's like, oh, why? Let's not go for Matt Campbell, and he's kind of stuck there because he just kind of got lightning in a bottle with Hall and Purdy there for a bit, for 3 or 4 years. Oklahoma. I think the good thing for them is, other than Oklahoma, they get Oklahoma State, they get Texas, or they play at Baylor. So I mean, that's a little difficult. I was gonna say if they got Baylor at home, that would have been very helpful for K-State. But other than that, I mean, let's see Oklahoma's. So Oklahoma plays at Nebraska week 3. So Oklahoma, they get that's really weird. Bedlam's a week, not the last week not the last regular season game. That's really weird.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on TCU? I mean, I think they could also be a dark horse team. Nobody really, I mean, we forget that this TCU team was one of the best Big 12 teams in the country just a few years ago. Even almost had technically got snubbed for a playoff spot in 2014 when they had Trayvon Boykin. So, I mean, they have this quarterback who was supposed to be really good with Matt Dugan, who I think.
They were 5-7. They don't have Gary Patterson anymore, or he's not there anymore. So I feel like there's gonna be, you got Max Dugan, but I feel like you might just see a new head coach. It might be a tough road. It might be kind of the good old days of 2014, 2015, 2016 and stuff for TCU might be done, unfortunately, maybe.
Or you could see, because we're kind of forgetting that Baylor just had a brand new coach, but a couple years ago they went 6-6 in his first year, and then 11-1 and won the Big 12 title in his second season.
I could see TCU losing to SMU week 3. That's also look at that. Their off week is the 3rd week of the season. That's really early.
And they've their schedule's kind of a gauntlet. They go 3 of 4 weeks they're on the road.
Yeah, but they get Oklahoma at home. They get Oklahoma State at home. They get Kansas State at home. So right here. West Virginia, Texas Tech, at Texas, at Baylor, and then they get Iowa State. But they get probably the 3 hardest teams, that at least according to us, at home, which is good. But SMU, if SMU can pick up where they were most of last season. And they
still have Tanner Mordecai, so that's very that's.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah, that's a good point.
Also, I think another thing, you might not like this, Connor, being a Virginia Tech fan, but a move that a lot of people weren't talking about was JT Daniels to West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia could be a very sneaky team as well. We didn't get to see JT Daniels really at all at Georgia.
That's why I'm not that afraid of. That's really why I'm not that afraid, is because we just don't know. We didn't see him that much. They start. We get the backyard brawl week 1 at Pitt. I'm gonna watch. Then they get Kansas. then they get good old Towson, where my mom wanted to force me to go to school. She whenever she got mad at me, she always yelled at me saying, "I should have made you go to Towson." My grandfather told her, "Don't send him to Towson. He's just going to resent you. Let him go to Virginia Tech." And then they play at Virginia Tech. Then they're at Texas. I mean, they get Baylor, Oklahoma, and K-State at home. Then they finish the season at Oklahoma State.
If you look at that first part of the schedule, they very easily could be 2-1 going at that Virginia Tech game. So they could the first 5 games.
With their only loss being Kansas somehow.
Or
no. I think it'd be even worse if you lost to Towson.
Oh, what if they started 2-0?
Or they're 1. Or what if they're 1-2? They somehow lose one of those next 2 games after Pitt.
But no, I could honestly, they could very easily be 2-3 after that 5-game stretch. So
they'll probably be 2-1. I think they'll lose that game to Pitt, because we kind of still think Pitt might still be kind of up there in the ACC a bit. If I recall, they're probably going to still be fighting for coastal supremacy if Keaton Slovis can kind of pick up where Kenny Pickett left off. But I think those games, Kansas and Towson, should be wins. It is just weird that the Virginia Tech game is not like that second week, you know what I mean? But I guess they didn't want to have them start 2 games on the road back-to-back to start the season at ACC schools like that.
That game is going to be – I bet that game's going to be a blast.
Look at that. Well, look at that. Thursday. That's Thursday nights.
Oh, yeah.
That's BT. That is the one school that lives for Thursday nights. Like all other schools hate Thursday nights, and BT just we'll just take them because that's how we're going to get on TV. They'll take those Thursday night games, and those are some of the funnest games I've ever been. I mean, there were a few not so good games that I went to or that I've seen in my time as a VT fan. I remember a 30-7 loss to Miami. That was not fun. I can hear a bird outside your window.
Yes,
so
there is a bird.
We hear dogs. Now we're hearing birds. But yeah,
we've heard everything on this show.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah. So, and then Kansas. What do we think? Could they be?
Are they going to beat South Dakota? Are they going to beat South Dakota?
I was gonna no wait, that's K-State. Sorry.
Oh,
what's Kansas? Sorry, I didn't see. That's Kansas. Can they beat Tennessee Tech? Oh no! Right here. This game will be this game right here will be our $5 game our $1 game of the week right here.
And watch Duke go into that
Kansas,
game 3-0 somehow.
Yeah, Kansas versus Duke. That'll be our week. That'll be our our $1 game of the week, our worst game of the week right there potentially.
Oh Jesus! You know what? I think it's hilarious. Hilarious that
Kansas at home or Texas at home.
I think it's hilarious that every year Kansas starts off with an FCS team, just to usually lose the first game every year.
Is that what happened to here?
In the last couple of years, I think they've lost the first game to. If you look at their first game,
no, they beat South Dakota.
South Dakota by 3 points,
and then they got smacked at Coastal Carolina. Oh, they lost to Duke at Duke. 55-33, home and home. See, this was probably made this Duke game was probably made when they were actually good, like that year or two after they played. When didn't they play Johnny? They played Johnny football in the Chick-fil-A Bowl, and they were up 45-13 or something. Johnny football.
Did they lose that game?
Texas A&M came back and won that game, and then there you go. At Texas. Oh, that's glorious.
Oh God.
Oh, actually, look at that. There was a few games they could have won. Like here, they could have finished. They came close to finishing on a 3-game win streak.
Oh my God.
Very close. I mean, where is it? Where's this season? Oh, can we not go all the way back to 2007? We can't go back to 2007. That's the 2008. I mean, here they are. They're 8-5. 2007 was the year they went 12-1, and we're in the Orange Bowl.
Who doesn't love the Charlie Weiss era at Kansas?
Oh, was that was Charlie Weiss?
Yeah.
Wait, Was that? No, that's not Charlie Weiss.
No, Charlie Weiss was in there in the late 2010s, I think.
Oh, okay. No, but I only just thought that because I remember there was another fat guy that was their head coach that looks like Charlie Weiss mixed with like it was like Charlie Weiss mixed with like Andy Reid or something. He was just.
Can you look at what their thing was in 2020? Because I knew they lost to somebody that was like a FCS team.
Well, that's the case. Coastal Carolina. No, that's it. That's 2020 or 2019.
Or it might have been 2019.
No,
they lost. They Indiana State.
They lost to Coastal Carolina. Oh my God! They actually look at that. They beat Boston College. Wow, Boston
48
College.
to 24, no less.
Is that Phil Jakovic?
No, that he wasn't. He was still at Notre Dame at that time.
Oh no, it was Nicholas. It was
Nicholas.
Nicholas at home too, and then they beat Central Michigan and Rutgers. So if they could have been 3-0 going in that game at Baylor. Then they beat TCU. So they were what 3-9. They could have been 4-8. I mean,
oh Jesus.
I mean, oh God, 1-11. Like, I mean, I think that Texas win they had last year was like their first win in conference in like 5 years.
See, and you know what? It's funny.
Here's another. Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, they lost.
Here's the other famous Texas one. This is the one where they beat them at home and then they rushed the field. I forgot about that game. Oh God.
You know what's hilarious?
What?
So Kansas, most Power 5 schools, they schedule FCS opponents for like a cupcake game, an easy win, and they also the other team gets money, right? This is the one team that's a Power 5 school that it's the opposite. Kansas is the one team that if you're an FCS school,
you want to schedule them
because you're a Power 5 because you pay them to play you.
Yeah, here you go. You got Fresno State. I love how 2025 still has Oklahoma and Texas, even though
they're not, and they're going to be in the conference.
They'll both be in the SEC, but then we're right. No, they're still here. Is LIU.
Who are the Sharks?
Oh, Long Island University, I think. And then these are just the out of conference ones that have been confirmed for 2027. Cool. So yeah.
So are we predicting the record for 2022?
For what, Kansas?
Yes.
Wait, Kansas? Oh God.
Do they beat the mighty Tennessee Tech?
The Golden Eagles. I thought that was
It is Southern Miss. They stole it.
Southern Miss, yeah. They stole them. Southern Miss needs to sue Tennessee Tech. They stole that copyright.
Wait, can you see what their helmet looks like? Because that looks like the same Southern Miss logo.
No.
Never mind. It looked weird. But do they beat Tennessee Tech?
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say yes, but it'll be like 3 points.
It'll be close.
I say loss, win for Duke. They beat Duke or they lose to Duke?
No, they lose to Duke.
So 3-game losing streak, okay? Iowa State, without Brock Purdy, at home.
Loss.
TCU, loss. Oklahoma and Baylor, both losses. Then they lose to Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and then they beat Texas at home again, right?
No, they lose all 3 of those games. My God, they could go 1-11.
Could you see them go 0-12? Oh my God!
When was the last time a college football team went 0-12? That is something.
You mean like any
flat
team?
Out never won a game. Yeah, like any team.
Maybe. So that's 8-5. 29. Let's go 2010. Let's go by year. Seems like 3-9 seems to be the most common way. 2-10. 1-11. 3-9. 3-9. Yeah, they got that. Yeah, Kansas. Oh, there we go. 0-12. 2015 Kansas, but this is just Kansas. I mean, look at this.
Oh,
their closest loss was Their closest loss was their first game to South Dakota State, but South Dakota State's probably the best, like one of the top FBS teams. 2016, 2-10. They beat Rhode Island. Then they lost to Ohio, where my cousin went, the Ohio Bobcats. So
God, I didn't realize that in 2003, Army went 0-13.
Oh wow, really? Jeez.
Yeah. SMU in 2005 went 0-12. Duke went 0-12 in 2006.
There you go. Okay, cool. So we got that. So spend a little too much time on that. Okay. So worst team, Kansas.
Yes, Kansas.
Okay. Championship game teams. We already kind of just briefly talked about that. We have, what was it, Baylor? You said Baylor and Kansas State.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Baylor and Oklahoma. I'll take Baylor for now.
What do you have? Like, I guess, why do you have so much? Like, what do you like about Oklahoma?
Nothing. It's just It's just Kansas State. That's like a 4 or 5 win improvement from 5 and 7. I don't think they're gonna be able to do that. And I don't think they'll. Wait, is this Kansas? Oh, this is Kansas. Where's Kansas State? Oh, I canceled my screen, sharing my screen. Sorry. I mean, they'll probably beat South Dakota. They'll probably beat Missouri. Should beat Tulane. I think they'll go 9-3. I don't know. It's just I don't know. Even though we were all ragging on Oklahoma a lot last year, they were still for the most part, a good team. It's just, I think having Williams emerge like that kind of threw everything, kind of threw a major wrinkle into the team, and that kind of caused some problems. Obviously, the team was kind of close, but they were still coming away with wins. They were just unimpressive. But I think Brett Venables, at the very least, he should make their defense hopefully somewhat good. So I think that could be kind of maybe Oklahoma. That could be this year's Oklahoma State for last year. Have a really good defense and maybe have a serviceable offense. So Oklahoma State's offense wasn't as explosive as it has been in previous years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but okay, we're then going to go, since we already just kind of briefly talked about that. I mean, we already had most of talk about that. Let's do biggest or any potential Heisman contenders. Would you say Vaughn?
Yeah,
Kansas State Vaughn.
Yeah,
Deuce Vaughn. Dylan Gabriel, I think, just automatically because he's the Oklahoma starting quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not too sure because his injury was pretty severe. It was one of those.
Wait, I thought that was a different guy that
was Mackenzie Milton had a.
Yes,
it was him.
That was Mackenzie
but Dylan
Milton.
Gabriel had.
And not as bad. Not. I mean,
not as bad.
Milton almost lost his actually nearly lost his leg. Gabriel just tore his ACL or something, right?
Let's see. He broke his collarbone.
I mean, that's whatever. It's
But he was out for the season and hasn't played.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there may be certain rust, but I think just you're the quarterback of Oklahoma, that automatically just kind of puts you on the short list to start the season. I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Okay.
Honestly, I think there's only going to be. And didn't what's his name? Was it Armstrong? Who was the guy from Nebraska? Didn't someone transfer from Nebraska to Texas? Quarterback.
Someone. God, who's that? Martinez. Where did he?
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, Taylor Martinez.
Was that who it is? He transferred somewhere. But another guy would be Skylar Thompson. Could be one too. He's like I said, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12. I'm trying to
Taylor Martinez. No, he's not. He's just a former player. I swear there was someone who transferred to Texas. No, it was yours, right?
Oh, Adrian Martinez.
Adrian
That's who
Martinez, but wasn't it Quinn
It was
Ewers?
Quinn Ewers, yeah. But he's a true freshman, hasn't played a single snap.
Oh yeah, but Adrian Martinez was the guy who transferred from.
Oh,
he transferred to Kansas State.
yes. So actually, never mind.
That's why.
Skylar Thompson got drafted. Adrian
Thompson got
Martinez
drafted.
is the quarterback for Kansas State.
Okay, Okay, now that I know that, God, we're just showing right now how
We're not very prepared.
How well prepared we are. We're just saying that.
We're gonna fire our statistician.
Which is we just fire ourselves and we stop doing this podcast. We're just done forever. But yeah, Adrian Martinez. I mean, he was. I don't know. He was whatever at Nebraska.
He had his moments, and then he had games where it was just like.
Who's the Thompson? Oh, Casey Thompson. Wasn't he at
Thompson
Texas
transferred to Nebraska.
Oh, so he was the one. So he went from Texas to Nebraska. Quinn Ewers went from Ohio State to Texas. Okay. How do you think Ewers will do, though?
I don't know too much about him. I mean,
he'll be what?
He didn't play a single snap at Ohio State, so.
I mean, he was a freshman last year, so he'll be a redshirt freshman this year.
Yeah, so I don't understand where this notion is that because he's a 5-star kid, going to. Obviously, yeah, he's a 5-star, but he couldn't beat out C.J. Stroud, and he hasn't played a single down of college football. So I guess I don't understand where it's like, Texas is going to be really good this year with a true freshman quarterback that hasn't seen a single snap of big-time college football.
Yeah.
It's different when you go to high school and you're a 5-star quarterback and then going into even C.J. Stroud. Like, he was a Heisman candidate last year. He struggled in his first game. I mean, it's just for every freshman struggles in their first game. They might have their bright spots, but all of them have struggles.
Yeah.
But another potential Heisman candidate, I'm surprised that we forgot. Bijan Robinson from Texas.
I think just because Texas won't be very good, probably I think we'll
probably be 6-6 again.
Yeah, I mean, has there ever been a Heisman candidate or even anyone that's ever been even just in the running, invited to New York that was on a losing team, or a team that didn't have 9-10 wins or something plus? I mean, is there a way to check that?
RG3, right? I mean,
no, that was
when RG.
I think they won the conference, or they were at least in the championship game, so they won at least 9, 10, 11 games. They beat Oklahoma. I mean,
what was it? 2012? Was that the year?
That would have been 2011. Winner losing team.
They went 9.
It's your own Notre Dame's Paul Hornung. He's the only Heisman winner to win the trophy while playing for a losing team.
What was Notre Dame's record that year?
1956. I mean,
RG3 played. Baylor had 9-3. They were 9-3 and finished number 15 in the country.
I mean, let me see. Wow, that's such impressive numbers. I mean, this is 1956, so it's whatever. Hornung carried the ball 94 times for 420 yards, nice, and completed 59 of 111 passes for 917 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Was he a quarterback or a running back?
He was, I guess, just used all over. He had a total of 1,337 yards, which ranked second. He accounted for more than half the Irish scoring and converted 67 times when he was 3rd or 4th down as a junior and senior combined. So actually, Tom McDonald of Oklahoma actually had more first place votes, but he didn't win it. It was Hornung. Wow.
Huh? And he just passed.
Oh my God, Notre Notre Dame. Wait,
What?
Notre Dame was 2-8
That year?
that year. Notre Dame was 2-8. Oklahoma was the national champs. That was part of their record 47-game winning streak. That was part of the streak, and they beat Notre Dame 40-0 in South Bend. Tommy McDonald was the star running back. That's probably why he lost it, because one of his teammates, Jerry Tubbs, finished fourth in the ballots as well. So that's why he probably lost votes. So
Paul Warning.
not even
this past year. So
yeah, not even 5-7 or something. It was 2-8. Wow.
Hey, but would you ever see that now? I mean, you're
never gonna. I don't think you'll ever see a Heisman candidate on the team that has less than 8 wins. Like,
what about
Lamar
6?
No, I think like Lamar Jackson. I think Louisville was what 9-3, and he won it.
Yeah,
I think he was 9-3, but there was no one else that came close. Really, there was no one that kind of had challenged him, so he won it easily that year. But like, I don't think you're ever going to see anyone that's on a team that's below, 9 wins, maybe 8, maybe 7, but like, unless you're putting up ridiculous numbers and your defense is what's causing you to struggle, maybe. But like, if that was the case, then like Brandon Armstrong would have gotten consideration because he was ridiculous last year for Virginia, right? But he didn't get anything. So I don't think that'll be. I think Bijan's good, but I think he's just held back by being on a mediocre Texas team. Let's even see what's Texas's schedule. Oh, they get to play Alabama at home. Oh, there you go. That's a loss right there.
Oh, that's. Oh God, I wonder what the over under on that. What can we figure out what the spread of that game is?
Oh God,
is it Alabama by 20? I swear to God, if it's something like Alabama by 10 or 7, I'm gonna be really upset.
Let's see. Let's see. Vegas Insider. What's the odds? Wait, where am I looking? I never fully understand this. I think they're giving Bama -15. Opening line is 4, so I guess 14.5 to Alabama, so just over 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's the only reason is because it's at Texas. It's at home.
That's really disrespectful. If Notre Dame is a 13.5, if Notre Dame is a 13.5 point underdog at Ohio State, then Texas should be like a 21.5 point underdog against Alabama.
They play TCU, and TCU was good last year at home as well. I mean, they also get Louisiana Monroe at home, so they start the.
Oh, they don't play the Raging Cajuns.
No, they get they get ULM, Louisiana Monroe. They get the Warhawks.
By the way, I don't know if you've ever seen them play. I just watched them play LSU last year, and
ULM
at Orchard's. Yeah, they played ULM last game of the year. Their jerseys are disgusting. Like they are actually the ugliest. Like in a bad way. Like those things are the most god awful things my eyes have ever laid eyes on. When I watched that game, I wanted them to burn them.
Is it it's like brown with like a gold with like a golden yellow.
Yeah, it looked like a piss yellow, and like
it's like poop. It's like poop brown with piss yellow.
It's
no wonder.
Really bad.
Okay. Jeez. Okay, so we're already at 40 minutes. We're actually extending this a lot further than I thought we would. So yeah, Texas. They'll be 2-1 going into, but watch, they'll get destroyed. Somehow, obviously, Texas will be ranked, of course. Then Alabama's going to humiliate them, and they're going to drop out of the top 25, or still somehow be ranked, and then they're somehow lose to UTSA, and Steve Sarkisian's going to get fired at the end of the season. The whole sequence will continue. And, of course, Texas will not be back.
Texas is back, folks.
Not this time. You're wrong.
We're back.
No, we got you.
When Texas wins tonight
No way.
against the mighty SEC,
No way.
Texas is back.
This one was invented by a writer.
Oh, that's just glorious.
Gotta love that every time. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Except
Who
for
made
the
that?
part
Did you
where
make?
the
Who
Texas
made
is
that?
back
Did you
vote.
make that, or did someone make that?
The Arkansas social media team from last year.
Oh, okay.
And they got voted like I think they got voted by was it Barstool Sports or something as the
That's
best
the
social
best.
media page in college football.
Just because of that. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So we got that. Okay.
Oh.
Biggest potential disappointment. Would it be Texas, or does that not really count because that's the automatic?
Well,
first thing that
based
comes
on
to
well,
mind?
that's just a boring answer because that Texas is the biggest disappointment in the Big 12 on a year-to-year basis.
Do you think, based on how they've been in the past and with all the losses, not having Purdy, not having Hall, Iowa State following down and maybe being second or third worst in the conference?
Not really. I think I'm gonna look more. When I look at biggest potential disappointment, I look at like expectations. And what expectation wise, I'm gonna kind of go Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State could be really, really good, like a 10, maybe 11 win team. But I think they could also be like at 7-6 and 8-4, or not 7-6, 7-5, 8-4 type of team. It all
So that would be a
depends.
disappointment after this past season.
Yeah, I think that just it depends on how Spencer Sanders is. If he takes that next step and can limit the turnovers. I mean, God, how many times when we were watching that Fiesta Bowl against Notre Dame, when Oklahoma State finished the comeback, and was it Spencer Sanders turned the ball over to Notre Dame twice in the final 4 minutes of that game, and Notre Dame just couldn't capitalize. But like that's something that needs to be fixed. If he can fix that, take the next step, maybe. But it's also the defense that worries me. It took their DC that was there for like I think 4 or 5 years, 5 years to get that where it was. And on top of that, you lose your best defensive player. If it goes back to where Oklahoma State used to be, where it was just all offense and no defense, and Spencer Sanders continues his turning the ball over, I mean, they could actually even be a 6-6 team. It all depends on the defense and Spencer Sanders.
I mean, let's see. Oklahoma State. They start off with 3 straight games at home. Baylor keeps having these tough games all at home. Baylor has they get Central Michigan. Central Michigan, that was the team that beat them on that miracle a couple of years back. Was that 2019, I think? That long pass that shouldn't have happened. Then they get Arizona State and UAPB. I don't know what that is. The Golden Lions. And then
UAPB.
UAPB. I mean, yeah, Baylor gets lucky. They get Oklahoma State. They get Kansas State. Actually, no, they only really get all the easy games at home, mostly. I don't know. I mean, I can see that. Biggest surprise, would that be probably Kansas
what about
State?
who's your biggest potential disappointment?
Disappointment-wise, I'd say could be Oklahoma. Excuse me, just having a new head coach. There could be some, some struggles along the way, just, totally unexpected.
Also, like the fact that they
changes.
lost they lost almost all their scholarship players. I mean,
They lost a lot of they lost all their recruits to USC as well.
so it's like, who do they even have to play? Like, probably a lot of walk-ons, I'd presume.
I mean, I guess we could look it up. Oklahoma football 2022 recruiting class. I mean, with all the
do they even
recruits
still have
lost.
Marvin Mims? Is he?
Oh no, that's Oklahoma State. Whoops. Why does it say Oklahoma? Oh, I didn't want Oklahoma State. I want Oklahoma. Well, Oklahoma still finished 10th overall, despite all the transfers and stuff. What was the guy's name that you said?
Is Marvin Mims still on the team?
So he was
Or did he
recruited.
transfer? No, he was their best. He was their best receiver. He was that guy that made that one-handed catch
Oh, him?
against
I have
Texas
no
to
idea.
win the game. Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm not seeing. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, they still finished 10th, but you never know. I think it could be them. And then biggest surprise, I guess yours would be Kansas State, just what you were saying with them.
Kansas State or TCU for me. Like Adrian Martinez, if he can, he's kind of like Spencer Sanders, but Spencer Sanders was at least a little bit more serviceable. Adrian Martinez has those games where like he'll have like a game where he'll have like a 90-yard touchdown run and then like an 85-yard touchdown pass, but then throw like 4 interceptions and 3 of them lead to pick sixes.
In the same game.
Yeah, in the same game. So it's like I really like the Deuce Vaughn. I mean, I look more into that guy after when I was making the thumbnail. This kid, like, he might be better. I wouldn't say better than Bijan Robinson, but he might challenge Bijan Robinson this season for that title. He didn't get a lot of love last year because he plays at Kansas State. TCU, I've always liked Max Duggan. Like just from like when he was getting recruited, I've always thought he was really good.
Yeah.
So I think he could take TCU to that next level. It just depends on who he's got around him and the coach. So yeah, I think Iowa State could be as well, but they're just like such a big question mark. That, I mean, who do they even have? But yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, I get that. I don't know. I think for me, it would be biggest surprise. I'll go with, I think it could be Kansas State or TCU. I don't know. It's just like, I think it's just so unknown because there's no divisions. So, all the teams play every other team, which, other conferences are looking to change and to follow the same thing as well. Did you see that as soon as next year, 2023, Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, and what's the other team? BYU will be joining the Big 12. So it'll be next year. So those teams will be there next year. So I don't know what's going to change if they might if they might go to divisions once that happens. But it's going to be so weird. Cincinnati all the way up there. That was, I said.
You think they'd be more of like a
Big Ten?
You think they'd be more of a Big Ten team? Yeah.
But they're like all the way up here. You have West Virginia. These two teams way up here in the, way further east and further north and east of these schools. There's going to be long flights for those teams going up there. And also for the.
I don't understand why they don't just drop Rutgers. Like it would make sense if you would drop Rutgers
and Maryland,
and then add
and Maryland. They wanted. Well,
let Maryland go back to the ACC.
They wanted the DC. They wanted the DC New York market. That's really all they wanted.
I mean, seriously, though, think about it. Maryland would be so much better. They'd be so much better in the ACC. Rutgers would be better if they could.
Well, you want to know. You want to know what's happened though. Maryland women's basketball has won every regular season and I think conference championship in the Big Ten since they joined the Big Ten. Meanwhile, men's lacrosse in the Big Ten is being dominated by Maryland. So it doesn't matter. So I mean, you have all these other teams that for Maryland that are dominating, do much better than the football.
But there are a lot of teams that there are a lot of programs that have their teams in different conferences. Like Notre Dame has ACC, but in hockey they're in the Big Ten. So it's like
it's just like how Johns Hopkins, their lacrosse team, is in the Big Ten because there's not every Big Ten team has a lacrosse team. So Johns Hopkins, because it's historically so good in lacrosse, is in the Big Ten.
It makes more sense to me, and I think Cincinnati would fit really well in the Big Ten. They play a lot of Big Ten teams on a year-to-year basis.
Maryland should have stayed in the ACC, and they should have added West Virginia, because West Virginia's academics is much better than Louisville's, and Louisville was added. Even though
why did West Virginia even go to the Big 12? Because
because everyone thought they were going to the
ACC.
They were supposed to go to the ACC, but the ACC said their academics wasn't good enough, even though Louisville's academics was even worse than West Virginia's, and they accepted them. I guess Louisville just was able to bring more money. That's really.
What do you think? It was kind of like a Pittsburgh thing. Like, do you think Pitt maybe was like, we don't want?
Well, no, because I would have. Because I mean, they're still playing the backyard brawl, and I would have wanted to keep seeing that. I think that would have been huge for the ACC to have Pitt and West Virginia play each other every single year. That'd be huge for them. That's a big, big old Big East rivalry right there from the old Big East. That along with West Virginia, Virginia Tech.
But like seriously, Rutgers.
Miami.
Rutgers has no business being in the Big Ten. They moved up when they had that those couple good seasons. But,
the only reason Kansas is in the Big 12 is because they dominate basketball. That's about it. That's the only reason they're still in the Big 12 for anything is because of basketball.
Make Kansas an FCS school.
Rutgers should be an FCS school. Even then, they'd probably still go about 3-9.
No, I seriously how amazing would it be if Cincinnati and Notre Dame could join the Big Ten? You know how much money the Big Ten would make? I mean, they already had that thing that came out this past off season that Notre Dame's talking about going to the Big Ten and doing a TV deal where they'd be able to keep their NBC rights.
But being the Big Ten for football?
Yeah. But they would be able to keep their NBC TV deal where all Notre Dame home games would be on NBC. But
would they do a full Big Ten schedule, or would it still be the same schedule they're doing now?
Yes, it would be a full Big Ten schedule, and they would keep the USC. They would keep the USC rivalry.
Would they keep Navy?
And I think Navy. So Navy and USC would be 2 games on the schedule every year.
And then you just get Notre Dame, Michigan every year anyway, and that's a rivalry right there.
And Michigan State, Purdue, all of our rivalries, with the exception of USC, Stanford, and Navy, are in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and you could probably rotate between USC and Stanford every year. You probably don't have to do it every year, probably.
But and the thing is, I'm surprised it's now happening that way because, like I said before, Notre Dame got denied to join the Big Ten, I think 4 different times, starting from the 1920s, and they tried joining in the 1990s. But the guy who created the Big Ten he was the AD at Michigan. And for years, he always said that they didn't want Notre Dame in there because they said it would ruin the Big Ten and it would tarnish the Big Ten's legacy. And then it's funny because when Notre Dame was struggling in the early 2000s, when Charlie Weiss was there and we went through 3 head coaches, the Big Ten came to Notre Dame and said, hey, this was right before Brian Kelly went there. The Big Ten came to Notre Dame and said, hey, we're offering you a spot to come to the Big Ten. And Notre Dame declined. So Notre Dame declined in the early 2000s because at that point, it's you've denied us 4 times. Now you're coming to us. Why would we accept that? So
why are we talking about this? This is not the Big 12.
we got caught up talking about conference stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the Big Ten eventually and all that, but I think that's really about it. There's nothing else we really need to talk about for the Big 12. But yeah, thanks to everyone that watched. Which fortunately, I didn't let I forgot to let people know about this or send it to the post. So we really had 1 or 2 people watching. What? Did Tennessee come back? Is it 8? Is it 8-0? Is it 8-0 or something? What's the score?
It's bottom of the 7th. They just hit a double play, scored 2 runs. So it's bottom 7th, 2 outs, 8-5 Notre Dame.
Oh, okay. I have 8-3, so I guess it didn't update. 8-5. Oh yeah, it just hasn't updated yet. Okay.
Man, I can't. I hope this isn't another Virginia or Georgia Tech game where they like score like 10 runs and
Just
they got to
choke.
throw that freshman out there. Throw the freshman.
Just
Finlay.
choke. Okay.
Make him throw.
So that's gonna wrap it up. We'll be back next week. I'll make sure to let my friends and everyone know about this, so we have a few more people watching. But we'll be back next week with the Pac-12, and we'll also make sure that we are better researched and have all of our facts straight.
And we'll make sure Lucas is on for the Pac-12 show.
Yeah, he was
Have
busy
to have him
doing.
on.
He was busy driving. Got to make sure he doesn't die or anything. So yeah. So for if you want to get 10% off your first purchase, use week 0 at w.gg to get the best energy drink anywhere in the world, or in the US, I guess, whatever. And make sure to put it in your alcohol, because that way it'll taste the best right there. But for Ryan Lulz take L's Fravel, I am Connor. Texas is back, folks.
Texas is back, folks.
Oh, muted
Not this
yourself.
time. You're wrong.
You forgot to you accidentally unmuted yourself.
Oh, I did? No, it was already muted. It was muted on your end.
I swear I heard you say something. Whatever. So this is the Week 0 podcast.
Brother.
We'll be back next week. I also hope you guys liked the new layout. Ryan put that all together. There we go. That actually might be best. Jeez.
Bye,
Now you're
Tim. You're a little late.
Oh my God! Is Tim? Did Tim just get here, brother? Tim, you?
Yeah, he just got.
Why are you saying
Tim,
brother?
come on, man.
Am I your brother from another mother, Tim? Is that it? Huh?
I'm gonna really have to get on Josh for not showing up.
Oh yeah, we gotta get on Josh. We gotta get on Tim. We lost that one guy that kept showing up on Costa's channel. Yeah, Rico, and he always, did he always say Rigo? Was the first thing he always said?
Rigo with a bunch of O's.
Yeah, Rigo, and we're just like, okay, cool. At least there's one guy.
I miss Luke, man. Where's Luke?
I forgot to let Luke know. He's probably watching Tom Grassi's Friday night Q&A, so that's probably it. Yeah, but Luke needs to be here. I forgot to let him know. I need to put that in the group chat next time. Tim, we were literally on last week, dude. Tim, we were on last week. We're gonna be on every Friday now for the off season. Just
at
talking
6
shop.
p.m. CST. And
well,
also,
we were at 8. We were at 8 tonight because of Lucas. Even though
we're gonna have, and he didn't even show. We're gonna have Lucas on next week, so he can tell us about his Ducks and how they're gonna win the Pac-12 championship, and Bo Nix is gonna win the Heisman. So, and how he's gonna say "huck the Fuskies," because why not?
Huck the Fuskies. Huck 'em. Huck 'em. Huck 'em. Huck 'em. Huck 'em. Okay, so that's gonna be it, guys. We'll be back next week. Tim, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Time,
next week.
4 p.m. Western Time next Friday. We'll be here for the Pac-12. Okay, you've been tied up. Well, Tim, you gotta put time out of your day to come watch this, bro.
You gotta see the boys.
I know you gotta see the boys. But we'll be back next week. We'll see you guys then. Take care. Bye-bye.
Peace. Go Irish.